Well, I watched the movie here. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Nah, I got mixed feelings about it. Not a masterpiece movie. Good entertainment. Story is just dragged out. I think if they cut a little bit off the first three quarters of the movie and shrunk that down and increased the part where the main antagonist, I almost said protagonist, comes into play, I think it would have been better, and a little bit more development on the character for the fire wielder. I mean, that's a mixed bag there. I think they could have done that a lot better. I mean, I know they had to get the comedic element in it, but given that he had such a pivotal point of catching the main ghost, it kind of throws it for me a little bit there. So that's definitely a miss for me. I think they could have done a lot more character development. They should have had more encounters with the main antagonist to actually learn about him and then develop the technology, not the he's coming and they literally got like 10 minutes or whatever as he goes through the city, and then the girl sits there and is like, oh, I'm just going to create it real quick, and melts down brass. And it's like, okay, not realistic if you ask me. Like, I know the movie's not realistic, but still, it would have been better if they'd have had a first encounter with it. And then they learned, I mean, they did have a first encounter, but I think it would have been better to have more development on the encounter, so they had to come up with the idea and then have more time, like a day or two, developing the technology and putting that into the show. I think that would have been a lot better. I mean, the main antagonist, he's awesome. I think he's great for the movie. Some people probably have different opinion, but I think he falls into like the extreme Ghostbusters type ghost. I mean, there's one show I don't have complete on DVD, but I have the complete series for the original cartoon, which it would have been kind of nice, like if they would have introduced some of the ghosts from that, like they could have pulled them out and used them and had them in the show. I mean, they did show a couple in the containments, but still, it's like they could have really utilized that. I mean, they could have almost pushed the main antagonist of this movie to a later movie, and then had a second movie where they go to New York, like in the middle, and then the main antagonist could have been the Grundle, easily. Probably the creepiest, most deranged creature they ever faced in the cartoon, if you ask me. If you haven't seen it, watch the cartoon, watch the Grundle. He appears in the original cartoon, the animated series, and the Extreme Ghostbusters. And trust me, he would have been a pretty dang good antagonist, like main antagonist for it. I mean, especially given that the kid is young in the show, too, in the movie. So, and that's what the Grundle basically goes after. Or they could have used Sahan, the Spirit of Halloween, which they could still use him later in our movie, because I do hope they make another movie for this. But they just need to adjust a little bit. I know they're trying to get the nostalgia in there, because I've seen they're hammering nostalgia in there. Sometimes you don't need to hammer too much nostalgia in it to actually make a movie work. So, I mean, it would have been nice if they could have gave them just give the original Ghostbusters their send-off in this movie, which they didn't really do that. I mean, the first movie actually did a better job sending them off than this one did. They're kind of just part of the team, so we'll wait and see. I have a feeling they'll make a third movie for this. But overall, I mean, this is my opinion about the movie. It's one I could probably watch again, but at the same time, it's like, you definitely got to be awake and have a lot of sleep to get through the first 3 quarters of the movie, because they do wait too long for the main antagonist to come out. They could have cut the first 3 quarters of the movie down to maybe even half the movie, or added 30 minutes to the movie to give more development to the antagonist and the firebender character. I call him a firebender because that's literally what he's doing. Which I'm sure people have mixed opinions about that one too, but for me, I think it's, given he was so pivotal in fighting the main antagonist, they should have had a much deeper development of him. Like, if they wanted a goofy character, they could have just had one of the other kids been really goofy, but they made a main point to catch the main antagonist a goofy. It's like, no. They should have made him more serious and made our character just be the goofball. Just my opinion on that one. Because they could have they could even went the same storyline where he didn't know anything about it, but through the whole, for the half the movie, he's just learning different techniques and finding different books that his grandmother may have had and starting to read about it and learning about it. You know what I mean? It's like, there could have been so much more development with that, especially given the main antagonist, like, I want to say his name, let's see here. Maybe not, I don't think it's on the back here. But it's like, it could have even done a part where he gets his horns back in the movie. But it's so easy for him to get his horns back. What they should have done is had him basically get out, maybe even a quarter of the way through the movie, they could have had him get out of his sphere that holds him. And then the horns are scattered around the world. Like one is one part of the world and the other horn is in another part of the world. And then basically had him go there and show how terrifying it could be. But it takes some time to get around to those places. That would have gave development. I mean, shoot, they could have even had the first encounter just before he went to go to get his horns to become more powerful. I mean, there is a lot of things they could have adjusted to make the movie better, but I do know they were trying to get the family development in there, because that's what they're trying to get, is the family development, trying to create the core characters so they can actually expand into the Ghost universe, because guess what, all the ghosts get out again. And they only trap the main antagonist and maybe a couple other ghosts by the end of the movie. But overall, I'll give the movie maybe a 6 or 7. Only reason is because it's so slow. Like, I would almost, if I was going to watch a movie again anytime soon, I'd probably just go right to the middle of the movie and go from there, to be God honest. That's how slow it can be in the movie. Maybe even a little later than that. Mainly just wait until, like, about 10 minutes before he actually gets out of the sphere. But, I'm not sure. Leave your opinion down in the comments. I'm sure you'll probably disagree. I'm pretty sure there's people who disagree and agree with me. But till next time, this is Rusty's Arcane World. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. See you later.